Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of BB Outdoors. So this video is a little bit different than a lot of the other videos I've made. Well, technically it's different than any other video I've made. But I went out this past weekend and I had two fishing sessions. Neither of these fishing sessions were good enough, in my opinion, to make a full video. However, in these two fishing sessions, I did manage to add 3 new species, bringing my total species count to 27. So I decided, hey, if neither one of them is good enough on their own, let's mix both of them together and make a double feature of sorts. So that's the video you're going to be watching. Just to prepare you, incidentally, I also made a new intro for my videos that's going to play at the start of all the videos going forward, and that's what you're about to see. I'll check back in with you after the end of the first video and the start of the second, so you have an idea of kind of what's going on. But yeah, enjoy the video. Welcome to BB Outdoors. In this series, I'm catching every species of fish in Ohio on hook and line. Thanks for tuning in as I bring you the rich aquatic biodiversity of Ohio to your YouTube feed by displaying all 181 species of fish found in the state. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of BB Outdoors. I hope you like that new intro I did. That was I don't know, something fun to differentiate this series from all the other videos I do. I thought it was pretty cool. Anyway, today we're continuing the series of catching every species of fish in Ohio. We're starting today off with 24 species. We are switching it up in a major way. The last video I posted, I was fishing in this tiny headwater creek and at John Bryant State Park, the upper headwaters of the Little Miami River. And today we are doing the exact opposite. We are going to the big water. Now, that's not Lake Erie, that is the Ohio River, which is right down there. And the Ohio River is probably one of the most interesting biodiverse areas in Ohio, right? If you live anywhere near the Ohio River, people will talk about how dirty, polluted, and gross it is, but the reality is there's actually a ton of cleanup efforts, and the river is people say it's still dirty. I think it's beautiful. There's tons and tons and tons of species of fish in here. It would be easier for me to just say that there's possibility for 10 plus species today rather than to list all the ones out here. But there's sturgeon in here, which I can't target, but they are in here. Suckers, buffalo, saugers, a group of shiners and darters that are only found not in the Ohio River, but in these large river channels. So not only am I fishing the Ohio River, I'll also be hitting some creeks that go into the Ohio River. And those creeks are very special because they're not really connected to a river system in the same way that a creek that connects to like the Little Miami or Great Miami is, because everything flows into the Ohio. These creeks, there's raised elevation, and then it just goes one stem right into the river. So those species of fish and those specimens of fish that are in those creeks are actually a lot more protected and isolated than most other creeks where fish can travel up the entire river system. That doesn't really happen in these situations. So there's tons and tons of opportunities for new species here. Like I said, I have 24. I'm looking to get at least 2 or 3 more species today. I hope magic number is going to be like 6 or 7. But we'll see, guys. I'm so excited. Let's get down to the river and we'll try to catch some fish. And there she is in all her glory on this fine October morning, the Ohio River. Definitely the largest river system anywhere around me until you get to the Mississippi, which really should be called the Ohio River because the Mississippi joins the Ohio River. The Ohio River does not join the Mississippi, but I digress. Looks like we have some other gentlemen fishing down to my right. That's okay, I don't think I'll be impeding on them at all, and we actually have some crystal clear water today. Like I said, people that claim the Ohio River's dirty, there's probably at least 3 or 4 feet of visibility here. Little bit of wind, so things are getting kind of stirred up a little bit more than I'd like, but I'm sure we can make something happen today. Oh.
First fish of the day, and it is a tiny one. Oh, it's a little shiner. Let's put him in the photo tank. All right, what do we have here? Oh, that is an interesting one. It's definitely a new species, and I've talked about my hatred for nootropids on this channel before, but they are notoriously kind of hard to difficult, so I'm actually going to consult my reference book and see if that can give me a positive identification on this little guy. I'm thinking either mimic shiner or channel shiner, maybe. We'll see. All right, guys, so after some careful determination and study with my book from Zimmerman, wonderful book on the species of Ohio. It's a naturalist guide to the fish species of Ohio. That's what I use for pretty much all my identification. And based on range map and characteristics, I'm going to say that this is a channel shiner. That's the Notropis wycliffei, and it is species number 25 for the Every Species in Ohio challenge. And like I said, partially that's due to the geography, because they are the most common shiner within the Ohio River. So, right, I have a pretty good shot. If it's a Notropid in the Ohio River, it's probably going to be a channel shiner. But it's definitely not a mimic, definitely not a ghost, definitely not a sand shiner. So that pretty much just leaves channel shiner. But it is a beautiful little fish, approximately 1.5 inches in length. And it is one of the species that I was really hoping to get today. So let's take some pictures of him, throw him up on the board, and get back to it. All right, we got the channel shiner, the micros, that's pretty much all that turned up. But the bottom rods really haven't had any activity, and the species don't seem to be, well, nothing seems to be biting here besides a couple little micros. So I'm about to pull up my stakes and hit another spot. I think when I go to that other spot, I'm going to start off in the creek that goes into the river, finish off at the river. A very similar boat launch like this. So I'm going to give this about another 5-10. Next time you see me, it'll probably be at that next spot. Well, I saw this creek on a map. We're calling it a creek. Might be kind of generous. Oh, look at that. Got a little buck, and definitely looks like he got some EHD going on. I don't think he's doing too hot. Looks like some coyotes got to him because they ate him ass first. Sorry, buddy. Well, I hate to say it, but this creek is a bust. This was a little misadventure here. The problem is I didn't realize that this is all a wetland in this floodplain right by the river. So the creek maybe only ever has 1 inch, 2 inches of water in it. And I really have yet to see any fish activity. My options are that I could either follow the creek down this way, or, you know, and hope it gets better, which I don't think it will. It'll just get harder and harder to walk on, or I can go back and fish the big river at the boat ramp. Oh well, the creek didn't work out. Coming down here to this next boat ramp. And the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. Might make the water a little bit cloudier, might make it a little bit more difficult for me. But we are not deterred. We're gonna keep going, try to get some more species. Got him. Oh no. Oh my gosh. It's the smallest one ever. But I got the Gambusia. That is species number 26, and that is the western mosquito fish, the Gambusia affinis. And there are a ton of them down there. There's some bigger ones too, but this is the one I caught. You know, another about 1.5 inch long fish to add to my collection. But yeah, these guys, they're not native. They're actually introduced as a pest control method. That's why they're called mosquito fish, because they love to eat mosquito fish. But now they're just kind of everywhere. You can see these guys all around, and they're, you know, not that hard to catch, but they're kind of the same deal as that not the killifish, the northern studfish that I caught on the last episode. These guys are top minnows, so they like to stay on the top of the water column and pick food, you know, near the top off the surface, which is where I put my bait to catch this guy. I was going for a bigger one, but this is the one I ended up getting. So at the very least, we have 2 new species for today. the western mosquito fish, the Gambusia affinis. And you should see the size of bait I'm using. It is tiny, tiny to catch these guys. But species number 26, let's get him photographed. Well guys, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching the entirety of the video. I know it's not super interesting today, and not at all how I wanted it to go. 2 new species. We are now at a total of 26. We added the channel shiner and the western mosquito fish. That's the Natropus hickmani or something, and the Wilkinsey, and the Gambusia affinis. So I wanted to show you guys some cool bigger species out of the Ohio River. It didn't happen today for whatever reason. Fish just were not cooperating. But that's the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned, and I will catch you on the next one. All right. So now that you've seen the first video that I shot on the Ohio River, known for its giant Volkswagen-sized fish, in which I caught 2 micro species, to add to the list. That was the channel shiner, the Natropus wycliffi, and the eastern mosquito fish, which is the Gambusia affinis. So I added both of those, and then I went out the next day and went and fished the Great Miami River. Caught a species there, one that I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with, and yeah, that was let's get on to the second one. Alright guys, hello and welcome back to another episode of BB Outdoors, and today we are continuing the series of catching every species of fish in Ohio. The goal today, as it is with any other day, is to catch as many different species as possible. We're on the Great Miami River. Let's get down there, and we're at 26 species. I caught 2 yesterday on the Ohio River in a admittedly not super great fishing session, so I'm hoping to redeem myself today. We're going to be doing some micro fishing, and we'll probably throw some worms out for some larger species, depending on how that goes. It is a little windy, so I apologize for any wind noise today. I'm doing my best to minimize it, but let's get on down there. Let's see how it goes. Alright, so the strategy, as it is most days, 2 rods with worms on the bottom. Oh, fish. There's a bite for sure on this one. Yeah, I'm on. What we got? Even if it's just a channel cat, you know? I think I'm gonna guess carp, because he's running all over. First fish of the day. Micros have not been producing super well, but it's a big smallmouth. Woo! Oh, well, you know, of all the fish that I've been catching for this challenge, it really has taken me this long just to catch a smallmouth bass, the Micropterus dolomieu. I've probably caught more smallmouth in my life than any other species of fish, but it's taken me this long to add one to the species list. And he got the hook pretty good, so I'm gonna have to remove that from him. But there we go. Yeah, it's not a bad one, you know, maybe like 15 inches, 14, 15 inches. But that's another species. That is species number 27, the smallmouth bass, the Micropterus dolomieu. Let's get a photo of him, put him up on the species board, and get back to fishing. See what else we can find. I just want to take a moment to put things into perspective here. Up until that point, I caught 26 species. I caught the northern studfish, right? I've caught the red-side dace. I've caught the mottled sculpin. I've caught all sorts of weird and crazy microspecies before I ever caught a smallmouth bass. And I just want to take a moment to appreciate how strange that is for a channel and a fisherman that's caught probably tens of thousands of smallmouth bass over my lifetime. It took me that long in this series to add smallmouth bass, which it wasn't a conscious decision. It just worked out that way. But how crazy is that? All right, and that is the end of the video. I appreciate you guys watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will be back sometime soon with another installment in the Catching Every Species of Fish in Ohio challenge. It is deer season, so there's probably going to be some deer videos coming up here soon. But yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned.